PC parts are dropping in price every single day, whether it be graphics cards or processors. Things are coming down, which means that you, the consumer, have the opportunity to build amazingly powerful systems for not a big cost. And being a streaming and tech channel, we normally talk about the tech gear. Well, today we're talking about a streaming PC that I was able to scrape together all of these parts locally in less than 3 days. These are all used. This whole system, if you were to buy it brand new, would cost $1,100 to $1,200. Today, we've built it for $750. Let me show you what about $750 can get you on the used market if you deal hunt well. And let me tell you about our amazing sponsors over at Owned Pro. Owned Pro is the subscription service that all streamers need, whether it be overlays, alerts, DMC-free music, a fantastic chatbot, giveaways, everything. Owned Pro will offer you hundreds of options for you to instantly install inside your OBS today. Make sure you go check the link in the description to go get 50% off your 1-year subscription to Owned Pro. Do like many others and go ahead and upgrade your stream today with Owned Pro. Let's get into talking about what parts I was able to pick up for $750 here locally. For the processor, we are going to be going with a Ryzen 5 3600. I picked this piece up for $80 US. That's going to be going into a B550 from Gigabyte. It's an Aorus Pro AX. This is a fantastic motherboard. It's a mini ITX and it's being housed inside the NZXT H1. Obviously, it includes a power supply and a 140mm AIO, and I got not only the case, the AIO, the PSU, and the motherboard. I got all of those for $250. For the RAM, we're going to be using 16 gigabytes of 3200 speed at CL16. This RAM is about $40 that I picked it up for. And for storage, we're going to be using a 500 gigabyte NVMe drive from Western Digital. This is a Gen 3 storage device that I'm actually putting on the back of the motherboard and not in the fast Gen 4 spot. I know I eventually will upgrade that later, but for now, that cost me about $40, $50. And the last piece is the graphics card. This GPU is the NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti. I actually picked this up for $350 used locally. This is a mining card and was running for about 10 months straight, but I have been testing it and it has been flawless. Does it perform well? And how are the temps going to be, especially in a small form factor case? I've been so excited to build in a small form factor case for myself. So let's get this going. Wyatt's going to do a cool build montage, and I'll come back to you when we see benchmarks and some other things. Let's get into it. And it's later in the day. I have already built this PC, started doing some testing to make sure I can stress it out. Knowing that it was a mining card, I wanted to make sure that it was going to run to its paces. And let me just say, it ran flawlessly, by the way. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you some gameplay and we're going to talk about some benchmarks and things, but I really wanted to just stress that this system, brand new, cost about $1,200. I spent $750. Obviously, this scales. If you wanted a cheaper PC, you could. And we're actually going to be talking about a $100 streaming PC in another video coming up. Let's just say that Project Quad is a really awesome video. I'm pretty excited to show you about it. Anyway, so let's talk about this PC. Let me show you the benchmarks of how this specific set works. And I have to say, I think the 3600 with the 3060 Ti is like the perfect pairing. Let's get into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave all of the information that's up here that shows you like all the temperatures and stuff. But anyway, we're just gonna play through a few games and just kind of see what their frames do. And all of these are not installed on that 500 gigabyte hard drive. Obviously, they're installed on my server, and all of my computers can run Steam library from the exact same server. If you wanna know more about that, check the description. I'll show you how I actually set up my server to run all of my Steam games to all of my PCs and only have to install them once. But let's go ahead and jump into each game and see how it works. I'm gonna do some very stressful games, honestly, and maybe an esport title, maybe Apex Legends. So let's go ahead and go through these games. All right, I think we're gonna start with, let's do Destiny 2, and it's not because I'm a Destiny shill, it's just that Destiny 2 is one of those that I know how it benchmarks because I've benchmarked it with so many other games. So let's get into Destiny 2. Just to go ahead and confirm, we are sitting, should be the max settings that you possibly can have. I turned off motion blur and wind impulse, HDR is off. And we're sitting at 1440p, no VSync, no frame rate cap, and windowed full, just because I can't stand, maybe it's the streamer in me, but full screen. I know you're gonna get better performance. Drop in the comments if I'm doing something wrong with that, but. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and push around and just kind of get into some heated battles and see what's happening. So again, this is 1440p, max settings, and we're already sitting at just above 100 FPS, about 115, 111. It says 99% of FPS, that means not including the 1% lows. 99% of FPS is about 81, that means our 1% lows are actually pretty close to that, which is pretty awesome. You would think that a really small case like this would be kind of hard to keep cool, but I have yet to see the CPU go above 60 degrees. Well, I've seen it 62. Let me make sure I say that. 62, and the GPU right now is sitting at 73. Now I know if I can keep this in this small enclosure contained, this is a triple fan card. If I can keep it under 80, I think I've done what I need to do, honestly. Oh, the CSGO, full of crazy people, very toxic people, extremely toxic people. All they want are skins. I'm trying to entertain myself as this game tries to do its thing. I'm not sure what it is doing, but I'm going to finally see the game playing. Maybe. Everything's max. We're obviously in 1440p. Oh my god! Did you see the bink, bink, bink? Oh my god, this game. Let's go ahead and see what frames we're gonna get on it. I don't expect crazy frames, but we're gonna see. All right, so we're seeing, it says 99% FPS is around the 170, 160s, 180s, etc. About 300 frames consistent. That's kind of what I would expect. This game really loves CPU. Oh my god, click ahead. Thank you. I'm looking at 29% usage right now. GPU utilization is only 68 still. So I'm not even using the full GPU, and that's just because of the nature of this game. So, my god, spray and pray. Oh, this game is so toxic, bro. All right, going into Halo, we are at 1440p. Let me just go ahead and check the settings. We are at 1440p. Literally everything is maxed. Unlocked frame rate, etc., etc. We're running 1440p high refresh through pass-through, which is pretty cool. So we're just gonna go ahead and see. Right now we're hitting it's showing that we're over 100 FPS, kind of dipping. We're about 90 right now. It says our 99% is 67, kind of dipping around all over the place. But the one thing I want you to pay attention to is that if you look in the upper right-hand corner, CPU utilization is at 75%, 81%, 89%, 68%. But you have GPU usage max. That's why I'm saying I think that like a 6-core CPU is perfect pairing for this 3060 Ti when it comes to gaming. Maybe not content creation, but this looks fantastic. I'm just playing bots right now, so obviously I'm dying. Okay, so final thoughts on this build. Let me just break it down. So should you build a Ryzen 5 3600 with a 3060 Ti in this NZXT case? I have to say, out of all of the PCs I've built in a while, I've been wanting to build a small form factor case, and I'm glad that I did it with this one because it performs. It not only did fantastic in gaming, but I went ahead and tested a couple of video editing things, and it was just silky smooth. You know, sure, is a 6-core processor not something that I would prefer to have in a rig like this? I would rather have an 8-core, yes. And is that like a first world problem? 100%. Max on the GPU we saw was 77 degrees. And for the CPU, that entire time gaming, I saw a max of 62 degrees. Now that is in this small case with a 140 millimeter AIO, and people think, oh, 140s or 120s are awful, but this performed. What am I going to do with this case? Should I flip it? Should I sell it? The answer is I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm really in love with it. It's small form factor, it's sleek, it's powerful. I think it would be great to take around. It's got 2.5 gigabit LAN already on it. It's cool. So what should you do? If it was me and I'm looking to build a PC today, instead of going out and buying brand new parts and building an expensive PC, here, I'll move the camera, like that one, fully water cooled, blocks, all that stuff, radiators, 3070, blah, blah, blah. Like that PC is like $3,000 invested so far. Instead of going out and spending brand new money to build this and feel great about it, you should probably consider the used market. I picked up all of this again for like $750, about $400, $500 off what you would have picked it up brand new. And these parts work fantastic together. Sure, there's an inherent risk, but if $750 sounds like a lot, the next PC build that's going to come out on this channel, make sure you subscribe so you catch that one, is going to be a less than $100 PC, where I'm going to be using a really special card where you're going to make this for less than $100 and still be able to stream all of your games through a capture card for a streaming PC for your console. It's absolutely amazing, so make sure you check that out. Until then, make sure you watch this video right here. I'm sure you're going to find it fantastic, and thank you to Own for sponsoring this video. We'll see you over in that video.